Good evening. I'd like to call to order the public hearing scheduled for 6:50 p.m. on Monday, June 30th, 2014, for the general appropriation and tax levy ordinance. Ms. Best, you take the roll, please.
Mayor Walker,
Here.
Councilmember Lynch, Councilmember King,
Here.
Councilmember Squires,
Here.
Councilmember Kerwin,
Here.
Councilmember McCarge,
Here.
Councilmember Arnowski. Here.
Please show Councilmember Lynch excused in absence, please. Anybody wishing to speak on the general appropriation tax levy ordinance? Please come to the podium, state your name, please.
Explain, what is that?
It's the budget for next year. 2014, 2015 budget. Anybody else wishing to speak on the public hearing on the budget? Okay, seeing none, I will close out the public hearing at 6:53. This time we will go into recess and open back up at 7 p.m. with the city council meeting. So we're going to go into recess at this time. Okay, we're back in session. I'd like to call to order the regular scheduled council meeting for Monday, June 30th, 2014. Our first order of business is our opening ceremony, which consists of the national anthem, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence for those service members that have given their lives while defending our country. Would everybody please stand? Thank you. Please be seated. Ms. Bettis, you take the roll, please.
Good evening, Your Honor. Mayor Walker,
Here.
Councilmember Lynch, Councilmember King,
Here.
Councilmember Squires,
Here.
Councilmember Kerwin,
Here.
Councilmember McCarge,
Here.
Councilmember Arnowski. Here.
Okay, show Councilmember Lynch absent and excused. And no, we don't have a new council member. Councilmember Sisirski got married, and her name is now Councilmember Arnowski. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, item 4, approval of the agenda as presented.
Your Honor, I would like to approve the agenda with one change if possible, if it's okay with council. I would like to take item B6 and move that to closed session.
Okay. Move that to item 13. Do I have a second?
Support.
Support from Councilmember Squires. Any discussion from the table?
Your Honor, if I could, to explain to the people in the audience and people watching, we received a last-minute opinion from an attorney regarding this, from our attorney regarding this particular issue that needs to be presented to council before any discussion will take place. I believe that council has no intention of taking any action tonight, that this was simply a discussion item, but the attorney's opinion is fundamental to any discussion.
Okay. Yeah, no action tonight. There'll be discussion only. Any other comments from the table? From the general public? Ms. Bettis?
Councilmember Arnowski? You. Councilmember Squires?
Aye.
Councilmember McCarch?
Aye.
Councilmember Kerwin?
Aye.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember Lynch? I'm sorry, and Mayor Walker.
Aye. Motion passes 6-0. Okay, community events. We have a retirement on the DPS. We got a resolution for recognition for
Mayor?
Eric Thompson. Ms. King?
Mayor, I move to recognize the resolution of recognition for Eric Thompson.
Support?
Support. Any discussion from the table? From the general public? Ms. Bettis?
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember Arnowski?
Aye.
Councilmember McCarch?
Aye.
Councilmember Kerwin?
Aye.
Councilmember Squires?
Aye.
Mayor Walker.
Aye. Now, Councilmember King, would you like to read it?
I would indeed. Resolution of recognition, City of Garden City, County of Wayne, State of Michigan. Whereas Eric Thompson, crew leader for the Department of Public Services, will retire on July 1st, 2014, with over 2 decades of commendable service to the City of Garden City. And whereas Eric began his career with the City of Garden City on January 23, 1990, as a custodian for the Department of Public Service, Eric was promoted to Equipment Operator 1 on October 22, 1990, and then on January 23, 1996, he was promoted to Equipment Operator 2. On March 29, 2000, Eric was awarded the bid for Equipment Operator 3. Then on September 21, 2009, Eric was promoted to Crew Leader, and whereas throughout his many years of service, Eric has served the people of this city with fairness and dedication, and now therefore be it resolved that the Mayor and the City Council of Garden City, on behalf of all our citizens, do hereby present this resolution of recognition to Eric Thompson, extending our best wishes to him and his family for much success and happiness in the future.
Very good. Very great employee, and we wish him all the best. He's not here tonight, but we'll make sure this gets to him. And also, we have Wayne County Commissioner Richard LeBlanc has something for him as well. Did you want to come up to the podium?
Thank you, Mayor, council members, and others. I do have a resolution from Wayne County on behalf of the chairman, Gary Warrenchuk, and my colleagues. And I would simply ask that you allow him to receive this, perhaps when he is able to receive the one
Actually,
that
I'm
you
going to
prepared
have
for him.
Kevin Roney, can you come up and make sure he gets both of these? Yeah, absolutely. DPS Director? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roney, and thank you, Mayor. So aside from that, I have nothing else to offer. Thanks so much for allowing me to be here tonight.
Okay. Also under community events, we have Kim Dole from the DDA.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm Kim Dole with the Garden City Downtown Development Authority. I just wanted to give a real quick kind of synopsis of what's been going on. We held the flea circus on June 14th. It was an animal adoption and awareness event. We had, at last report, there were 8 dogs adopted that day. And we were able to, with the city's help, sell over a dozen dog licenses that day also. So it was a hit. We plan on doing that again. We have movie nights coming up on the next, not this Wednesday, but July 9th, the 16th, and the 23rd. On the 9th and the 16th, those movies will be held in the Allstate parking lot by the DDA office, as they have been in the past. The last night, on the 23rd, we're actually going to have the movie behind Albert's on the Alley. And the movie on the 9th is going to be Goonies. So everybody from that age, bring your kids out and let them see this classic. Just a couple more real quick things. We have a design committee meeting tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. at the DDA office. If you're interested in attending that, the public's welcome. If you're interested in coming in and joining that committee, we welcome you to do that. Also, the chili cook-off's going to be here before we know it. That's October 11th. We can always use volunteers for that. The promotions committee can also always use new committee members. So if you're interested in being on the promotions committee at the DDA, give the office a call at 261-2830 and let us know that. And last but not least, this isn't DDA business. The Detroit Symphony Orchestra held a contest, and Garden City was submitted. We are one of 15 finalists. They'll choose 4 cities to do this. It's a free concert. And I spoke with the DSO today, and while he did say he's not willing to let the cat out of the bag, he strongly urges Garden City to look at the results tomorrow online at dso.org. So,
Great.
Very good.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we all want to acknowledge Mayor Hampton from the City of Inkster. Thank you for being here tonight, sir. Okay, we will move on to petitions and communications. We have none. Public hearings we had at the top of the hour. We'll go on to item 9, the consent agenda.
Mayor,
Councilmember Squires.
I move to approve the consent agenda in its entirety.
Support.
Support from Councilmember Arnowski. You guys want to read the appointees?
Do you want me to read them or you want to read them?
Doesn't matter.
I'll read first.
Okay.
To confirm the mayoral appointment of Steve Valente to the DDA Board of Trustees with a term to expire 6/30/2018, this appointment will be replacing the appointment previously held by Ken Bursell.
Okay, and the second one is to confirm mayoral appointment of Kenneth Bursell to the Planning Commission with a term to expire 6/30/2017. This appointment will be replacing the appointment previously held by Jim Rhodes.
6/30/2018.
It's the 17 right here.
It says 218 on here.
Says 18. Which,
We'll make sure that the appropriate term is.
it should be,
is the
it's
second.
3 years. It should be 17.
Okay, thank you.
Both of them should be 2017.
Absolutely correct.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Any further discussion from the table, from the general public? Ms. Bettis?
Councilmember Squires.
Aye.
Councilmember Arnowski.
Aye.
Councilmember McCarge.
Aye.
Councilmember Kerwin.
Aye.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Councilmember, Mayor Walker.
Aye.
I'm going to do that all night.
Motion passes 6-0. I left out one elected official in the audience, Lisa Clayton Hicks from Dearborn Heights Council. So thanks for being here tonight. Okay, this time we'll move on to our study session. B1, contract extension for custodial services for city buildings.
C.
Contract extension for the PM, preventative maintenance for HVAC units.
C.
Item 3, update of lawsuit against Wayne County over North Huron Valley, Rouge Valley. Do we want to have Mr. Roney explain what this is, or?
Yes, sir. This is informational only at this point.
Informational only, okay.
But Mr. Roney can come up and shed a little light on why we felt we needed to bring it in front of council right now.
You're in the hot seat tonight, Mr. Roney.
And I grabbed the wrong packet before I left, so it's all off the top of my head. Residents at home, you guys, you know it, but they're not going to be familiar with the term North Huron Valley, Rouge Valley. And what that is, it's 15 communities, Garden City, Dearborn Heights, Inkster, Livonia, Northville, Northville Township, Plymouth Township. We all share the same large diameter sanitary sewers that traverse along Edward Hines Drive and eventually send our sewage to the wastewater treatment plant. There's a large lift station involved, and the Water and Sewer North Huron Valley, Rouge Valley Fund that is for those communities is about a $55 million a year operation. That's the kind of money that flows through that. That's, and one issue, really probably the smaller issue, is that we've discovered, it wasn't us, it was an accountant in one of the cities, that the county had decided to take $4 million out of that fund and transfer to the county general fund to help them make their deficit elimination plan work. The plan that's being considered in Lansing, or been approved in Lansing, I'm not sure offhand. The other issue is that we're picking up that the county has a plan. They're thinking they're going to lease out the Rouge Valley system or sell it or somehow transfer it to an operator, a private operator, for a large sum of cash. And then presumably that operator will get their money back by taking it from us in the form of higher rates. So the lawsuit is being developed for the North Huron Valley communities, have a concern with it. They did the same thing to the downriver communities that share a system. They took over $4 million from them. So this item is just to inform you that the lawsuit is going to happen, and we will bring back a formal request with a resolution for Garden City to join that suit, because we certainly don't want to stand on the sidelines for something that important.
Very good.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Your Honor, tonight, are we even going to move this to the C agenda? Because we're not
No,
voting on
this
it.
is
We're just doing
information,
it.
it's
It's just-
just information only. Okay, item 4, the budget.
C.
See,
I think we've had a lot of discussion over the last several weeks on that. Item 5, proposed charter amendments.
see.
C.
C? Okay, we will go to the C agenda at this time. C1,
Mayor,
Councilmember King.
move to award a 3-year contract extension through June 30th of 2017 to Grand Rapids Building Services, that's GRVS, in the amount of $85,044 per year.
Support.
Support from Councilmember Squires. This is custodial services for cleaning of City Hall, Police Department, Library, Maplewood. What am I leaving out?
Fire and, yeah. Did you call the city?
And fire.
Fire department cleans their own building.
Fire
Oh,
Department
police
cleans their own.
department.
So that's custodial services for the next 3 years, for $85,000 a year to clean. That's what it's about. Any other discussion from the table? From the general public? Mr. Bacco.
How come it's so expensive? How come it's expensive?
$85,000 to clean all those buildings for the whole year?
How come so much money you spent?
I don't think it's that expensive. That's what it costs to clean several buildings for the whole year. Mr. Wallace.
Question, did that go through the bidding process? Did not go through the bidding process?
No.
Why?
It was part of the bidding process 3 years ago, and the contract was written such so that it could be renewed at the end of 3 years if council was satisfied.
Right.
They quoted the very same price they quoted 3 years ago.
They didn't up their price at all.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
anybody else? Ms. Bettis?
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Councilmember Squires.
Aye.
Councilmember Anoski.
Aye.
Councilmember McCarge.
Aye.
Councilmember Kerwin.
Aye.
Mayor Walker.
Aye, motion passes 6-0. Item C2,
Mayor,
Go ahead, Pat.
I'll give it to the bride. She wins.
I would like to award a contract extension through September 30th, 2016 to Tech Mechanical Incorporated of Pontiac, Michigan in the amount of $36,673.72 per fiscal year, totaling $110,021.16 for HVAC preventative maintenance.
support.
Support from Councilmember McCarge. This is for preventative maintenance on all the refrigeration equipment, HVAC for ice rink, police department, city hall, Maplewood,
And fire.
and fire.
GPS.
So that's what this is for. Any other discussion from the table? From the general public? Ms. Bettis?
Councilmember Anoski.
Aye.
Councilmember McCarge.
Aye.
Councilmember Kerwin.
Aye.
Councilmember Squires.
Aye.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Mayor Walker.
Aye, motion passes 6-0.
Your Honor, please excuse me, but a little late, but I'd like to mention that both of these contracts that you just approved do have quit clauses in them, so that if we're dissatisfied with service, if we feel we can get the service at a better price or a higher quality service, we do always have the option to simply notify the contractor and move on. And we do look around on a regular basis.
Okay. Moving on to C4,
Mayor,
Councilmember McCarthy.
I move to adopt the proposed FY 2014-15 General Appropriations and Tax Levy Ordinance.
Support.
Support from Councilmember Squires. Any discussion from the table? I'd just like to thank council for all the hard work, all the meetings, putting this budget together. I think it's a good budget. If you recall, we used to run the city on about 20 million, and this budget's just under 16 million, so 15,895 for all the services we provide in the city, and I just want to thank all of you for all the hard work over the last several months putting this together. Any other comments from the table, from the general public? Mr. Wallace.
I want to thank the police chief, city manager. He did an excellent job with the budget. It was a real nice budget he presented to you. Thank you.
Anybody else? Mr. Molnar.
I don't know if this is the appropriate place to bring it up. Good evening. Good evening. But a year ago, the city left pamphlets on the doorknobs of all Garden City to make sure that they rid their yard
Oh,
of...
ma'am, we're on the budget right now.
Okay.
You have to wait till the
Okay,
public comments at the end of the meeting.
Sorry.
No problem. Mr. Molnar? Yeah, we're only discussing the item that we're voting on right now, ma'am, which is the budget.
Okay, I'm not that happy with the budget. The library, what you're going to approve, went up $47,000 for cost, employee cost this year. They went up since the millage passed, they went up over $90,000 for personnel costs. I'm not too happy about that at all. I'm not going to beat around the bush about it. It's ridiculous. It's over 20% a year they went up after the millage passed. Before the millage, they was at $100 and some thousand. This year, they're $244,000. I'm not happy about that at all. The new library director that they rehired or hired, I don't know if he's getting a city, if his time is keep on going on for the city retirement, but if it is, you're breaking your own rules. He's a new hire. He's froze. He should be under the 401k like all new hires in Garden City. I see nothing in this budget about the 4 firemen we got that we're going to be losing the grant money for. I see no long-term planning on that. I'm not happy about that either. I'm not happy about some of the budget I am. And the fact that the police chief got the clause in about the contracts, that's great. I like that. It should be that way. If they don't perform, you fire them. But I'm not happy about the library budget. They're out of control over there. And I know I'm going to be accused of being against the children, and that's all right. I don't mind that. Anybody can accuse me of that all they want to. Don't bother me. But that library budget, like I said, this year alone, $47,000 in personnel costs. 1 year jump. Last year it was 30-something. Year before that it was 20-something. It's ridiculous. It's over $94,000 personnel costs since the millage passed, and I was against the millage, and this is one of the reasons why I was against it. It's ridiculous. And I still want something done about the 4 firemen. You got to plan now. You can't wait till that runs out. I'm sorry, folks. That's all I'm going to say about it, but I wish you would have had some long-term plan about these 4 firemen. We got a couple of bonds coming off, one this year and one next year, but it's not going to cover it, especially if you don't get the 3.5 mills again. We're going to be in bad shape, and that's just the way I feel about it.
Anybody else? Ms. Bettis?
Councilmember McCarge.
Aye.
Councilmember Squires.
Aye.
Councilmember Anoski?
Aye.
Councilmember Kerwin?
Aye.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Mayor Walker?
Aye. Motion passes 6-0. Item C5.
Mayor,
Councilmember King.
move to approve the attached resolution authorizing the submission of the proposed ballot language to amend Section 2.02 of the Charter of the City of Garden City to the electorate and authorize all activities necessary to place and proposal on the said proposal, on the November 4th, 2014 ballot.
Support.
Support from Councilmember Ranowski. Any discussion from the table? From the general public? Ms. Bettis?
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember Anoski?
Aye.
Councilmember McCarge?
Aye.
Councilmember Kerwin?
Aye.
Councilmember Squires?
Aye.
Mayor Walker?
Aye. Motion passes 6-0. We'll move on to item 10, public comments that were not on the agenda tonight. If you wish to speak.
I'm
come up
sorry.
with-
Mayor, we have...
No, there's
We have
more.
Each one of these.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
We're on C5B.
C5B.
Yes.
You're right.
B5C.
Mayor?
Councilmember Squires.
I move to approve the attached resolution authorizing the submission of the proposed ballot language to amend Section 2.07E and 13.09I and J of the Charter of the City of Garden City to the electorate and authorize all activities necessary to place said proposal on the November 4th, 2014 ballot.
Support.
Support from Councilmember King. Discussion from the table. From the general public. Ms. Bennett? Oh,
On this item.
you want to talk on this item? You want to speak on this particular item?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay. Ms. Bettis?
Councilmember Squires?
Aye.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember Anoski?
Aye.
Councilmember McCarge?
Aye.
Councilmember Kerwin?
Aye.
Whoever. Mayor Walker?
Aye. Motion passes 6-0. Item 5C.
Mayor,
Mayor?
to approve the attached resolution authorizing the submission of the proposed ballot language to amend Section 2.09C of the Charter of City of Garden City to the electorate and authorize all activities necessary to place said proposal on the November 4th, 2014 ballot.
Support.
Support from Councilmember Ranowski. Discussion from the table. From the general public. Ms. Bettis?
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember Anoski?
Aye.
Councilmember McCarge?
Aye.
Councilmember Kerwin?
Aye.
Councilmember Squires?
Aye.
Mayor Walker?
Aye. Motion passes 6-0. Item 5D.
Mayor,
Not all at once. Councilmember McCarge?
motion to approve the attached resolution authorizing the submission of the proposed ballot language to amend Section 8.02 of the Charter of the City of Garden City to the electorate and authorize all activities necessary to place said proposal on the November 4th, 2014 ballot.
So,
And we're talking, I'm sorry, just about 5.0,
5D.
which is section 5.03 B and D,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
BD.
Okay.
Support.
Who is the support from? Councilmember Squires. Discussion from the table.
Mayor, the only thing I found with this one, it doesn't matter that there's a typo in it.
Yes, it would matter.
Okay, manager instead of manager. 1, 2, 3, down. Is that incorrect?
Gotcha. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
you're welcome.
Also, there's another one.
Okay.
Second sentence, it should be a copy to each council member, and it says a copy of each council member.
Second sentence.
At the very end, Allison.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments from the table? From the general public? Ms. Bettis?
Councilmember McCarge?
Aye.
Councilmember Squires?
Aye.
Councilmember Anoski?
Aye.
Councilmember Kerwin?
Aye.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Mayor Walker?
Aye. Motion passes 6-0. 5E,
Your
Mayor?
Honor,
Councilmember Anowski.
I move to approve the attached resolution authorizing the submission of the proposed ballot language to amend Section 8.02 of the Charter of the City of Garden City to the electorate, and to authorize all activities necessary to place said proposal on the November 4th, 2014 ballot.
Support.
Support from Councilmember Squires. Discussion from the table, from the general public. Ms. Pettit?
Councilmember Osowski?
Aye.
Councilmember Squires?
Aye.
Councilmember McCarge?
Aye.
Councilmember Kerwin?
Aye.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Mayor Walker?
Aye. Motion passes 6-0. And 5F, composition of election commission section.
Mayor,
Councilmember Kerwin.
I move to approve the attached resolution authorizing the submission of the proposed ballot language to amend section 11.07 of the Charter of the City of Garden City to the electorate and to all activities necessary to place said proposal on the November 4th, 2014 ballot.
Support.
Support from Councilmember King. Any discussion from the table? General public? Ms. Pettit?
Councilmember Kerwin?
Aye.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember Osowski?
Aye.
Councilmember McCarge?
Aye.
Councilmember Squires?
Aye.
Mayor Walker?
Aye. Motion passes 6-0. Now we move on to our item 10, public comments, items that were not on the agenda. Ma'am, come on up. You've been waiting. State your name, and there is a 5-minute time limit. Anybody wishing to speak?
So, good evening again. My name is Virginia Moore, and I live in Garden City on Marquette Street. Last year, there were pamphlets placed on our doorknobs with regard to 3 noxious weeds that were invading the city, and that they were illegal to have in your yard. I found one in my yard last year and got rid of it. This year, it's not just my yard, but it is almost everyone in my block. They grow 5 feet tall. The tap root is 20 feet deep, and its extending roots are 17 to 30 feet across. Up, if you cut the top off, then they bud all the way around. I have what I consider, and other people have said, I have a very beautiful yard, and my flowers, my plants are being destroyed by this thing. I've talked to a few of the neighbors. They've been very diligent in trying to keep them down. And there are a few neighbors who kind of snicker and say, well, they're just picker weeds, and what are they? We had them when we grew up. The only thing is, if they're allowed to continue, you won't be able to have a garden like mine. So if I was just wondering if perhaps the city could send out another pamphlet with regard to that, and then I don't know about fines or anything, but warnings would be good enough. And I think it would save a lot of the properties, the nice properties in our city.
Okay. Leave your name and phone number. We'll have somebody contact you, ma'am.
Yes, thanks. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Mr. Wallace.
I just want to clarify something, Buddy Wallace. Last meeting, they've talked about, somebody was mentioning a class lawsuit against Chief Manager Murray for holding a dual position or whatever. You can't, there's no way you can have a class lawsuit against him when we've got a treasurer and a clerk, and SEC can never have the same person, a clerk and the treasurer. Nada. In all the county years that I ever messed with, I have never seen SEC okay that. Tell you something else. This city manager over here, I want everybody to know, May the 14th, he worked his lunch hour. You know what he did? He was walking in the garden. I put pictures. I was going to put it in the paper, but my Gmail lost the pictures. And he was there. He and I think it was Tackett. I'm not sure. I couldn't see because his window was too dark, but I could see Big Tom, the chief manager. And he walked them children, 2 groups of them, down and walked them back and walked them all the way. He protected them all the way to Berger School. To me, that's somebody that loves the city, and I appreciate that. Water, people talk about water. I'm not up here for myself about the water. I can afford my water bill. But when you got people, I don't know if a couple of the council working on, when there was 3 widows that come up here in October, I think, a year ago, and they were talking about the budget. All 3 of those ladies says we don't know what to pay, our drugs or our water bill. Unfortunately, one of those ladies that were here died over the winter. So that's just not right. I mean, there should be more than just one way of getting something across to people that can't afford it to help them out with their water bill. And there's a lot of widows that's drawing pension less than $400 or $500 a month. I don't know how they live. I really don't. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Mayor Hampton?
Good afternoon. It's good to be here. I just want to commend the City of Garden City for just a wonderful Relay of Life event at the high school or the junior high. It was very heartwarming. I want to say that it was very nice to be there. Certainly being invited by you, Mr. Mayor, I just think that's really nice when the community come together to showcase the seriousness of cancer and what it's doing to a lot of our families and maybe us as individuals as well. And I want to also point out that also the issue of survivors and those people who survive cancer, that's very important. And I think that was brought out later on during the during the walk, the candlelight visual that evening. So I just want to commend the city for the event. And I also want to point out this Friday, the 4th of July, ASME is having a picnic in your park, Garden City Park, and they're going to help me celebrate 4th of July, and I want to invite you out, if you can, come out and invite your friends and neighbors, Garden City, to come out. They're endorsing me for state rep, so it's going to be a great time. We're going to give away free food and also beverage, so come on out. I have some flyers here to pass out, so I just wanted to announce that event in your wonderful park. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Okay, Mayor, City Council, my name's Jeff Gorman. I met some of you at the Memorial Day event that you had here. That was very nice, very colorful, and appreciate you bringing the Command Master Chief in, true American hero, Master Chief Cock, that was here. I also want to tell you, if you hadn't heard, I am a Garden City resident, and I'm also your 13th Congressional District candidate for the House of Representatives against the other 2 members. I understand the incumbent was here a couple meetings ago. I knew it was cold this winter, but I didn't realize it was that cold. But just want to tell you I'm there, I'm here. If you want to send me, I want to be your public servant. I want to put public service back in public office. There's too much of that where people are serving themselves when they get sent to Washington, D.C. I'm not here to do that. I spent 24 years in the Navy and Navy Reserve as a naval aviator and naval officer, so I've served before. I've done my due diligence as a citizen. I've kept abreast of the issues that are going on. I vote. I keep my representatives' feet to the fire. I write letters to the editor. I do also have written commentary for some publications as well. But it's tired of being by the sidelines. Why would I want to join a group that has a 9% approval rating? Not exactly a lifetime goal, but I liken it to what happened after 9/11. That was real personal for me. I'm a commercial airline pilot, was a commercial airline pilot for 20 years. Terrorists used the airplane I flew, the 757 and 767, in the cockpit of the American Airlines jet that hit the Pentagon, ended up in an office that I used to work in and killed 3 people that I knew. As a commercial airline pilot, I saw that the federal government through the TSA was not supplying what I needed for the security of my passengers and crew, and that's why on my own time and my own dime I became an armed pilot for the last 2 years that I was in the commercial airline business. It was ironic, the 24 years I went around, well, we had weapons on the aircraft, but I never carried a sidearm, but in the last 2 years of my civilian job, I did carry a sidearm. But that's the way I feel right now. Why I'm running again is because I think the federal government is shortchanging the citizens here, and I'm here to make sure and change that. One of the things I want to do is put the Constitution back into practice in the federal government. The executive branch enforces, the legislative branch writes laws, and the judicial branch adjudicates. And that's the way it's supposed to be. The federal government is also limited by the Constitution and its powers. If it's not enumerated for the federal government itself, then it goes back to the states and the people. I want the federal government out of the state's business, even down to the city's business, and out of our personal business. And that's what I'm here to fight for as well, if you're willing to send me to Washington, D.C. to represent you. Again, my name is Jeff Gorman. My website is jeffgormanforuscongress.com. And I'll be here available after the meeting to give you any information you need. I also have cards that I can pass out and answer any questions from either your folks up here or the ones here in the gathered in the assembly. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Okay, city manager's report.
Thank you, Your Honor. First, and I can't really answer all of Mr. Molner's questions regarding the library because, as council is aware, the library board prepares their budget. Yes, they do come before council, explain the budget, explain what they're requesting, but council is really not involved, and administration is really not as involved in the preparation of that budget since we have a library board. I do want to mention that at least $40,000 of the increase that Mr. Molnar mentioned is related to the kids librarian becoming a full-time employee versus a part-time employee. That is in part, that's a significant addition. Also, as to Mr. Molnar's concern about the fire department and the 4 Safer Grant firefighters that we should be looking ahead, we had meetings as late as today on this particular subject. We are looking ahead. We are trying to find solutions. We're doing some pretty outside the box thinking, in my opinion, to make sure that we can keep these firefighters. In addition, the fire department itself is presently working on trying to get a grant to at least cover those firefighters who came in under this grant who are veterans to extend their time with us. So we are working on that. We are not turning a blind eye to this. We're hoping to come out better by the time we're done. If I could mention, we just had 3 police officers graduate from Northwestern University School of Staff and Command. This is a 400-hour leadership school. It's pretty intensive. It's well recognized both nationally and internationally. They've trained well over 14,000 police executives since they started this program in 1983. And Lieutenant Mike Tackett, Detective Sergeant Ray Glenfield, and Lieutenant Eric Zimmer successfully completed this, and I attended their graduation on Friday, and we're very proud. Council will remember back during budget conversations, recycling, curbside recycling was brought up. I want council to know that we have not forgotten this. This has not been put on a back burner. Our biggest barrier right now appears to be getting some information out of Public Services. One thing that I have learned is that our DPS Director, Kevin Rooney, is a pit bull. He will not let up. He will not let go. I expect to see information on this by the end of this week. If you get a chance, please look at the rear of the fire department. You're probably aware of the commemorative fire hydrant that's out there, the golden hydrant. The fire department has now put in pavers around there, and that involved 3 generations of Schroeders. 3 generations of Schroeders, one of whom is here, and it's really pretty neat and a well-done project. Several of us stood there and marveled at some of the requirements that are required to taper it off and make it all come out nice, and it really does look nice. Previously, I'd mentioned to council that we were getting a new scoreboard in the ice arena, and we had entered into a partnership with Steve Valente and Alberts on the Alley for the financial support of that scoreboard. The scoreboard is expected to ship very shortly, and we'll have it installed by the time ice opens back up. Also, the Family Resource Center is closed right now, first week until July 7th. This is not something unusual. They find that around the 4th of July holiday, attendance and participation falls off greatly. So they close the doors and take care of other business inside. But let's not forget that when the doors open back up on the 7th, you're going to see the new and exciting Community Resources Department. I'm looking forward to this with Director Monica Fulton, who is going to move this forward. I think the services that you are going to see offered through this Community Resource Department are going to be impressive. We've got things, we're looking at things like, of course, tax assistance, which always was done, but we want to broaden it. We're looking at a community prescription card, which for people who do not have prescription coverage, through our association with the National League of Cities, we'll be able to make that available. That can save people up to, I think they put it around 23-25% on their prescriptions, simply by having one of our cards, and it costs the city nothing. These are the kinds of little things that Monica will be exploring, and we're very excited and we're looking forward to it. And that's all I have tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilmember Kerwin?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to see the golden fire hydrant, but has it been blessed yet? If not, I'm gonna go get my dog.
Okay.
But, no, I really don't have anything else tonight, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember McCarthy?
The only thing I have is to congratulate the Garden City Garden Club on their 20th annual garden walk. The 8 homes that were spotlighted, I really would like to thank those residents for opening up their yards. It truly is amazing. They definitely keep the garden in Garden City. So congratulations to those residents. That's all.
Councilmember King?
Yes, just a few things. Relay for Life, I totally agree. It was fantastic. And once again, you did a wonderful job. Our team, shall we say, brought in over $7,500 for the relay. And a special thanks also to all the young girls and boys that were here this year. I was really impressed by all the help they were doing. They were putting up tents. They were taking stuff. They were rah-rahing. I mean, to see kids, all kids like that, girls and boys both, it was really, really refreshing. So thank you very much for your help. Super thanks to DPS. Terrific job in fixing up all the streets again. You know how messy they were with all the compact, the cold pack that nobody wants? They're looking great. They're all looking great. It's a super job getting it done, and as usual, it looks very good. Garden walk was absolutely great. And if somebody would like to either join the garden club, they can, or you can become a part of it as far as having your house show next year. That might be what you want to do. Or if you know somebody, a neighbor who has a fantastic yard, you may want to be in that. All right. Well, do it again. Okay. And just call Cheryl. Cheryl is the one taking care of it. If you have her pencil handy, 734-788-1319. And that way, if you want to join or if you want to be in the garden walk next year, you can do it. And thank you, Cheryl. And the last thing is we now have our transit, Nankin Transit, on our website. All the information is on our website. They have a little link there, and thank Dan, yeah, because he put that on for us. A lot of people aren't familiar with Nankin Transit and how it works. It's for seniors and it's for people with disabilities. It's a fantastic program. It gives you curb service, picks you up, takes you where you have to go for only $3. It's a real break for people. They did not promote it enough before. We have a wonderful director now, and he is James Ridner. He's new to it, and he's doing a great job in bringing it all about. Great advertising. It's getting much better, and more people are doing it. So keep that in mind. You can go online, and you can get it right off the website now. pick up the phone call, and you can get a ride. And it's something that we need to support for our people because it is a very good thing to have. And it supplies, or the Nankin Transit covers Garden City, Westland, Wayne, and Inkster. So it's good for those 4 cities. Okay, and that's all. I was winded today.
That's all right. Ms. Bettis?
I would just like to actually just echo how valuable that transit program is. When I was ill and disabled and unable to drive, you know, my family would have gotten me back and forth if they needed to, but it was very nice that I could do it on my own and use that service. It's a really great service. It costs us about $35,000 a year, and it's very helpful to a lot of people. And so that's very good. I did also want to thank a whole bunch of people for their participation in the relay. Just the simple help, you know, just the people that come and spend a little bit of time with us. And I did happen to have a little card for Commissioner LeBlanc because he made a donation, and I appreciated that. And so thank you. Thank you. And he was among many other people who donated their time and services to make sure that the relay went smoothly, and including the fire department, who made sure that we got the trailer that we need for the command center up and running and ready to go and ready for use. And so thank you so much for that. And lastly, well, not lastly, also I did want to let Mr. Molnar and anyone else who wanted to know, one of the things that council has done in the past is to change the benefit level of the new hires that come in. They do not get the same level of service as the same level of benefit as the old persons. And so when Mr. Lentz was rehired, he did lose that benefit, unfortunately, for him. And so it is true that he is at a new hire phase as opposed to an old hire phase. Let's see. And lastly, and you know, my favorite thing to talk about is election. And as you are well aware, we have an election coming up on August 5th, and the last day, if you are new to our community, if you haven't registered, and if you are not just haven't registered for any reason, the last day to register to be able to participate in this election is July 7th. And so you want to make sure that you come up. I always have registration cards available. If you just happen to see me on the street, I'll probably just dig into my purse and get it out for you. Or you can go onto the website, or you can go onto the state websites, or if you happen to be passing any other city hall, you can get it there. There is no reason that you cannot vote. And I do always ask you to take a moment to look at those countries where voting is not as reputable as it is in this country, and to make sure that you take advantage of the opportunity you do have to affect your government. It's important. It's important when it's a little bitty old school election or a local election. It's important when it's the United States presidency or anything in between. So take advantage of that. You know, I am still wishing for Garden City to be on the news, because we are going to be the first community that has 100% voter turnout. So call your friends, call your neighbors, make your kids get registered. Thank you.
Councilmember Arnowski.
The only thing that I have tonight is I also like to thank the community for their participation in the Relay for Life. I wasn't able to attend this year, but most of you know that is a cause that is dear to my heart, and I just couldn't be prouder of you guys here at City Hall and all the employees who give up their time and volunteer their time and participate in the community. It's really important, and you make us all really proud, so thank you. That's all I have tonight.
Councilmember Squires?
Okay, well, as many people know, St. Dunstan celebrated their last Mass yesterday with an official closing ceremony. But the good news is St. Dunstan and St. Raphael have merged. So we have a new parish in town by the name of St. Thomas the Apostle. So I would just like to invite everybody to come on out and see what it's all about. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I too want to thank everybody in the community for the Relay for Life. What a great event. The money, how much did we raise again? Was it 60?
Just short of 70,000.
Just short of
Yeah.
70,000 Garden City raised for the fight against cancer. So what a great city we have. I also went on the garden walk. I went to all 8 houses. We got some beautiful yards in our city. People that take pride in ownership of their property, and it's great. It's great to see that. Also, I want to thank, and the chief mentioned it, but firefighter Nick Schroeder, your brother Joe, and then your grandfather Joe for building that patio out there. It's fabulous. It's great, and it's kind of employees we have, the kind of residents and employees in the city. It's phenomenal. We got great people. Also, to let everybody know, we got a new business that just opened this last week. The old Dunkin' Donuts up here on Middle Belt across from the high school is called SoCal Yogurt. They're open. Hamburgers, sandwiches, yogurt, ice cream, 50-inch screen TVs, wireless, patio outside. They're open till 11 p.m. So if you want ice cream or something to eat tonight, you got plenty of time to go up there. And on Friday and Saturday nights, they're open till midnight. So just wanted to throw that out there. At this time, a motion is in order to go into closed session to discuss the public safety
So moved.
village. Moved by Councilmember Kerwin, support by Councilmember King. Ms. Bettis?
Councilmember Kerwin.
Aye.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Councilmember Anoski.
Aye.
Councilmember McCarge.
Aye.
Councilmember Squires.
Aye.
Councilmember, Mayor.
Aye. Okay, at this time, we're going to recess to go into closed session.
You must have gotten them all right.
I have. This did really badly.